Assalamualaikum. Hello everybody. Before let me introduce myself. I am Tania Ahmed Tamanna. I studying in Department of Business Administration. Today I going to talk about first of all utility. Utility is a concept in economics that measures the satisfaction or benefit derived from consuming goods and services. It is a subjective measure, meaning that it varies from person to person and can be difficult to quantify. Utility is an essential concept in consumer theory as individuals make decisions based on maximizing their utility or satisfaction. Utility amount of satisfaction derived from the consumption of a commodity. Measurement units utils. It is the capacity of a commodity to satisfy human wants. Useful understanding the demand side of the market. Next, total utility. Total utility is the total satisfaction one receives from consuming a particular quantity of a good. As individuals consume more units of a good, their total utility typically increases, but at decreasing rate due to the law of diminishing marginal utility. This law states that as more units of a good are consumed, the additional satisfaction gained from each additional unit decreases. Next, marginal utility. Marginal utility is the additional utility a person receives from consuming an additional unit of a good. It helps individuals make decisions about how much of a good to consume by comparing the marginal utility of the last unit consumed with the price of the good. If the marginal utility is greater than the price, it is considered beneficial to consume that additional unit. Next, law of diminishing marginal utility. The law of marginal utility is based on human wants. The law of diminishing marginal utility is a fundamental concept in economics that states that as a person consumes more of a good or service, the additional satisfaction or utility derived from each additional unit decreases. In other words, the more of good or service a person consumes, the less additional benefit or satisfaction they will receive from consuming each additional unit. The law of diminishing marginal utility helps explain why individuals make rational decisions about consumption. People tend to allocate their resources in a way that maximizes their total utility by considering the marginal utility of each additional unit consumed. The law of diminishing marginal utility suggests that individuals will consume goods and services unit the marginal utility equals the price of the good. This helps individuals make decisions about how much of a good to consume to maximize their overall satisfaction. Explanation to the graph law of diminishing marginal utility. When total utility declines in positive rate but marginal utility in a negative rate, total utility rises by smaller amounts. The negative slope of the marginal utility curve reflects the law of diminishing marginal utility. When total utility unchanged, marginal utility declines from larger to smaller units. Next, indifferent curves. Indifferent curves is a graphical representation of all the combinations of two goods that provide the consumer with the same level of satisfaction or utility. In other words, it shows all the possible combination of two goods that give the consumer the same level of satisfaction, making the consumer indifferent between them. Indifferent curves are typically convex to the origin. This means that as the consumer moves along the curve from left to right, they are willing to give up more one good to get more of the other good. A higher indifferent curve represents a higher level of satisfaction for the consumer. Consumers prefer combinations of goods that lie on higher indifferent curves because they offer more utility. The slope of an indifferent curve at any point represents the rate of which the consumer is willing to trade one good for another while remaining indifferent. This is known as the marginal rate of substitution. Indifferent curve assume that consumers are rational and have complete preferences and that their preferences are transitive, meaning that they can rank their preferences consistently. Properties of indifferent curves. Indifferent curves are downward sloping. Indifferent curves are convex to the origin. Higher indifferent curves, higher indifference level of satisfaction. Indifferent curves do not cross. Next, cardinal utility versus ordinal utility. In cardinal utility, utility is measured in numerical terms such as utils or other units. This means that utility levels can be quantified, allowing for direct comparisons of the intensity of satisfaction derived from consuming different goods or services. In ordinal utility, utility is not measured in numerical terms. Instead, consumers rank their preferences and make choices based on the order of these preferences. The focus is on the ranking of preferences rather than on quantifying the level of utility. Cardinal utility levels can be compared and aggregated across individuals. On the other hand, ordinal utility comparisons of utility levels are not possible. Cardinal utility comparative study, instead ordinal utility much less compared. Cardinal utility concave function, on the other hand, ordinal utility convex function. Cardinal utility quantitative measure, on the other hand, ordinal utility qualitative measure. Cardinal utility preceded the ordinal approach. On the other hand, ordinal utility conceptual and practical. Thank you.